Hello and good morning, friends. Today, I want to talk to you about a situation that this particular homeowner got into, and what did I find when I went to investigate? Let's get into it. So, the story starts with, we get a call. The fella has been having some issues with some slow draining. Namely, his basement toilet flushes kind of slow, the utility sink doesn't really drain that much, and the bathroom shower / sink also doesn't really drain that fast. So we go over to take a peek at what's going on in the septic system, right? And usually when you have slow draining, that's a pretty good indication that you're running into a clog. However, there are times that it could be an issue with the drain fields, the outlet line, who knows? Maybe it could be something with the baffle, but we're going to go take a look and see what's going on. Show up to the property, take a look at the basement toilet just to kind of see, is it currently doing it? See if I can replicate it while I'm there. Flush the toilet, and yeah, of course it is slow draining. We go upstairs, flush the upstairs toilet, go back downstairs. We don't hear anything. There's no gurgling, nothing's backing up, which is fine, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that the whole pipe's full of water. So we go outside, and that's where the next step comes into play. So pop open the riser to the tank, and the water level looks pretty good, right? I don't really see anything backed up. I don't see any high water stains. I don't see anything squirrely going on. So we know the tank's doing what it's supposed to do. Go ahead, hook a hose up, run some water into that tank to see if it'll continue to do what it's supposed to do while I get my camera. Now, the reason why I want to put some water through it while I'm getting everything else with the camera set up to look at the sewer pipe is if I can run some water, let's just say it takes 10 minutes. If I'm putting about 60 gallons of water in there, if it's 6 gallons a minute, by 10 minutes, 60 gallons, right? If I put 60 gallons of water in there and it backs up, now I know it's not the pipe from the home to the tank. It's actually going to be a little bit further. So it just kind of changes my orientation of how I go about diagnosing stuff. Run the 60 gallons of water while I get my camera and all set up. Nothing backs up. Everything's doing what it's supposed to do. So we know we're in good shape on the outlet side for the moment. Now we go ahead and toss the camera into the sewer line. So this particular sewer line is composed of cast iron. And as I'm running the camera through, you can see all the staining on the inside of the pipe, on the top, in the middle, all over the place. You got staining. So it looks like they've gotten grease and all sorts of other stuff that's been sitting in there for quite a good minute. Now, once I'm running the camera, I come into a blockage. And as I start to kind of poke at the blockage and prod at it to see what's made up of this blockage, it looks like a bunch of cigarette butts. And so we go ahead and continue to pull all that gunk out of the pipe, and I kid you not, it was like a softball wad of cigarette butts that were in his sewer line. Now, we go ahead and pull these things out and show it to the homeowner and say, look, here's the deal. You got some cigarette butts in your sewer pipe. You can't be flushing that stuff down your toilet. Well, he says, I haven't smoked in 20 years. Me and my wife, we quit smoking quite a while ago. We'll see. So we're talking about this a minute ago, and he's finding it hard to believe that there were cigarette butts in the sewer pipe. He doesn't understand how they get there. And I explained, hey, look, this is something that happens quite a bit, where when people are doing something that they don't want other people to know about, they'll usually do it in the bathroom, right? So I see drug paraphernalia, I see cigarette butts, I see even Dorito wrappers, like food, in the sewer lines. And the only way it's getting down there is somebody's flushing it, right? So if you're flushing that stuff, that's the only way it's going to get into the sewer. So we talk about it for a little bit, and I say, look, I don't really care who's flushing it, but they can't be doing that anymore. It's going to cause some problems. And we start to kind of get into the discussion of what products can go into your sewer line, and I think that's where it comes into a good opportunity to discuss this with you. So with the sewer pipe, right, you have to worry about things getting stuck and hung up. Modern sewer pipes are PVC pipe, and they're fairly smooth. So there might be a burr or two, or maybe they didn't have a good cut on the joint. The PVC might be able to catch you on that point. However, older homes, they would usually have one of 3 different styles of pipe. You would either have Orangeburg pipe, terracotta pipe, or cast iron pipe. Orangeburg, basically paper mache, hot garbage pipe. You don't want Orangeburg. If you have an Orangeburg pipe in your house, you need to make sure you get rid of it because you're playing with fire. Terracotta pipe, on the other hand, now that pipe doesn't look super great, but it is still fairly smooth, and a lot of the county sewer lines are still terracotta. Terracotta is the clay pipe like you'd see for a flower pot. Now, the benefit of terracotta is it's incredibly smooth. The downside to terracotta is how they join it together. A lot of times you'll get these disjoints, and those little lips create points for things to get hung up on. Soil and root intrusion can also happen in the sewer line whenever you have terracotta, because a lot of times they didn't really seal that bell joint. They just kind of slapped it in the ground and called it a day. Sometimes people would seal it, but most times they didn't, right? Cast iron. Now, this is the type of pipe that this particular homeowner had. And cast iron pipe is metal. And now, metal pipe, as it is in contact with water and sewer gas, which is incredibly corrosive, is going to start to do what's called pitting. And that's going to be basically the rust on the pipe. Now, as the cast iron pipe ages, it'll start to pit and you'll get some texture in there. And eventually the pipe will just slowly work its way closed until nothing can pass through it. Now, that texture creates friction. Friction creates loss of momentum. Loss of momentum equals clogs. So if you're putting stuff down the sewer that has any kind of stretch, cigarette butts, and it gets caught once, it'll compound, right? It may not immediately catch something, and it may not be something that's caught often, but all it takes is one time. Same thing happens for flushable wipes, feminine products, plastics, cigarette butts, rubber ducks, all that stuff. It can get caught and it can cause some problems. I found an iPod Nano in a sewer line not too long ago. I don't know how that fell into the toilet or why it got flushed or how long it's been sitting in the sewer, but it was there, right? If things can get stuck, they will get stuck. And once they do get stuck, that's where you can run into some problems as a homeowner. So the lesson to be learned from this person is don't smoke in the bathroom, right? You shouldn't smoke at all, but if you're going to smoke, do it outside. Throw the cigarette butts where they belong. Don't put it down your sewer. You're just asking for problems. Don't put stuff down there that's not human waste and toilet paper, right? You don't have to torture yourself with one ply. You can use normal toilet paper, or if you're fancy, switch to a bidet. A lot of people apparently are doing that, and you'll be in good shape. You don't have to worry about anything. Now, things like Drano and any of those chemical treatments, they might work, but they usually cause more damage than they do help, so they're not super worth it. You're more likely to have better success by physically pushing whatever gets stuck in the pipe out of the pipe. Leave a comment below. Have you ever had a clog in your sewer line? Do you smoke and flush whatever it is down the toilet? Do you flush anything like your food wrappers down the toilet? Let me know. I think it's kind of interesting to see what people have done in the past. Did you learn from that experience? Did you have a situation where somebody like me had to come out there and figure out why it's doing what it's doing? Leave a comment below. If you enjoy videos like this, I have more videos posted every day in the world of well and septic. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and until next time, guys.